Alrighty then. Silverstone review. Can I get a review? Sorry, I've been in this car too long. Just in a weird multi-story car park in the middle of London. It's a bit weird. It's like some kind of eerie film, actually, to be fair. Anyway, right, let's talk about Silverstone. What a show we've got coming for you. Please stick around because I've got some of the best guests. Anyway, right, what a weekend. Cammish on pole, 2/10 on pole, front wheel drive car, amazing. Cammish now starting to really come of age, again like he did last year, actually, getting the points, getting the podiums, doing the business. Wins round one after a really cool battle with Tom Ingram, racing to the safety car line, or the start line for the safety car. Ingram looks like he got the position for the safety car restart, but then they looked at the pictures of where they both crossed the line, and it was deemed that Cammish had crossed it before Ingram. So roles reversed, and then the safety car was got rid of, and they finished first and second. Cammish winning the race, which was amazing, but that qualifying effort was amazing from Cammish. So yeah, he gets 53 points over the weekend. Massive score, and he's starting to pull in big points now, so brilliant stuff. Had a great Thruxton, has just had a great Silverstone, so really things are looking good for Cammish now. 13 points off Turkington and 17 off Sutton, so he is right in there. Team dynamics must be made up, so good stuff from him. Colin, on the other hand, Colin Turkington, he had an interesting weekend. It was a struggle, wasn't it, at Thruxton, but fantastic at Silverstone. He won round two after having an interesting battle with Butcher and Sutton that I remember in race one at Silverstone. So he must have thought he was quids in, actually, when he seen Ash Sutton have a disastrous start to race two and have that contact with Butcher, turned Butcher around, put him to the back, and then Sutton had a nightmare as well. He had a delaminated tyre and that went flat. I think it was his front left, so absolutely crazy. I think he might have stuck a tyre on, Ash Sutton. He come into the pits, stuck a tyre on the front left, and ended up with fastest lap, so he actually gained a point in that round two nightmare of his. But yeah, Colin come away with 40 points, which was amazing for him. So good stuff for Colin. Got him right back in there, and he must have thought he was on an absolute winner when he heard probably that Sutton had gone out of race two. But interestingly, I didn't have Sutton down for this. I know how good he is. I know how good the car is. Sorry, my light's gone off. I know how good the car is, but I have never seen anything like that. How he come from the back of the grid in race three, all the way up through the order to finish second on the road, but there was deemed to be unfair contact between him and I think Tom Oliphant, so they changed positions, and Colin, must have just been thinking, what is going on here, because it looked like a massive amount of points for Colin and not really any points for Sutton starting at the back, but unbelievable from Ash Sutton. I thought he was unreal. Ended up with 28 points. That's not a bad score considering what happened to him in race two, so fair play to him. Tom Ingram I thought was outstanding and did not deserve what happened to him. Total disaster in race two. He was leading from Dan Cammish. Looked like he was just going to be on for just massive points again, like he had at Thruxton, obviously with a second place in race one, and then a nightmare in race two with that front left puncher, and then just got speared off in an accident that wasn't his fault, bit like Brands Hatch in race three, again in race three at Silverstone. So total nightmare for Tom. He ended up with 18 points, so not great. That should have been a massive score like Cammish ended up with, so unfortunate for him. Let's talk about three people now that, well, just unbelievable. They had an unreal weekend for different reasons. Rory Butcher having a podium in race one, and then the contact with Sutton caused him total total nightmare, really, wasn't it? Because he ended up at the back of the grid for race 3, and then he ended up having that absolutely huge accident with Matt Neal, and I caught up with Rory, and this is what he was having to say about the matter.
Hello, Rory Butcher Enterprises.
I thought you were going to say Rory Butcher Custom Cages then.
Yeah.
Hey,
that would probably have been more fitting.
Oh my word, mate. Horrible to ask you about this, but that was some horrific accident on Sunday, mate, wasn't it?
Yeah, mate. It's probably the biggest of my career. And, I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. It was. Tell you what, it took a long time to hit that barrier, and I had a quick glance over my shoulder as I was going across the grass, and I was like, oh man, this is going to hurt. So I just kind of let go of the steering wheel, braced, and the rest was just happened. But yeah, the main thing, you know what, the main thing is that, yeah, we've got a broken car, but I'm okay, and also I didn't cross the track and hit anybody else, because I have nightmares about the Rob Collard crash in 17. And I'm just so glad that the barrier stopped me, because that just someone would have got hurt.
Yeah, mate. Them cars are like, what are they now? They're 1275 kilos. They're heavy, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. And obviously, yeah, with the ballast and so success ballast. So yeah, over 1,300 kilograms, and yeah, mate, and travelling at some rate as well. So
yeah, it is. It's horrible, mate. And I don't want to really go on about it, but how pleased are you with how it stood up? Because it's Custom Cages, I think, that does your roll cage, and obviously you've got two boys. Is it Ants and Royce that look after the safety of that car? Can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's Ant and Royce who look after the car when they're at Motorbase. The car was kind of designed. Or Custom Cages helped design the car via like a CAD kind of design system, and also fabricated it. And yeah, they're the best in the business. And the car was stripped down on Sunday night. I got a message from David Bartram at midnight with the car on stilts, completely stripped down to a bare shell, and then a message the next morning, and it was on a trailer on its way to Custom Cages. So they're trying.
Oh mate, that's what I was going to ask you, Rory. What is the state of play, mate? I know you've been on the phone most of the day, back and two, haven't you, with Motorbase and Ollie Collins? What are they saying, mate?
They're saying at this moment in time, they don't know if the car will be ready. There is, substantial damage. There's a big portion of the roll cage that's going to have to be replaced. But Custom Cages are working around the clock, and if we can get the car back by Saturday, then we have a shot at having it ready, and it probably won't have a shakedown. FP1 will be a shakedown, but we're going to give it a go.
Yeah, that's crazy, mate. That's such a shame, because it was looking like a really good point-scoring weekend. You'd been on the podium already in one, and then you'd obviously had that contact with Ash Sutton, which just looked massively accidental in race 2. Is that right?
Yeah, it was. Ash came up and apologised to me, so that says a lot about him. Yeah. And it's just unfortunate. He locked up, and he just gave me the lightest of kisses, and it sent me around and put me to the back of the grid. And you know what? It's just, it's just disappointing. Obviously, then you're in the middle of the field for race 3. Luckily, well, because of that, you don't have any ballast, so you're going to be pretty racy, but then there's the risk of getting into a bit of contact, and what happened next was just unfortunate as well. So
yeah, it does sound that way, because apparently Matt didn't get any kind of tap on the shoulder to go and see a judicial, did he? So you're just thinking it's kind of like on the telly, it looked like it was just one of those things, because it's a funny bottleneck kind of line into maggots, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I just look at. I've watched it over and over again, and I just can't understand how the hell we made contact, because we were both going along, and I think we were giving each other space, and then it just looked at the final stage just before we turn into the corner. If I'm honest, it wasn't even as if I didn't even feel contact. It was so light. The car literally just went round instantly.
Wow.
And I didn't hear anything. I didn't feel contact. All I felt was the rear go light, and then next thing you know, I've got full opposite lock, and I'm heading towards the barrier. So, it's Matt came up to me afterwards, and we spoke in the paddock, and I just said, look, we're doing 140 mile an hour. We're door to door, and sometimes we both can misjudge it, and I think that's what happened. So it was a racing incident, and no one's fault. So
well, I'm just glad you're all right, mate, because it was horrendous. But what a weekend for Motorbase, just craziness all the way through. And how cool is it though to see your teammate take that first win? He's a proper lad. Bigfoot did a good job, didn't he?
Bigfoot, he did actually done a brilliant job. And you know what, it was perfect. And obviously my crash was an absolute low point for the weekend for the whole team. But then Ollie picked everybody back up and could put a positive spin on that race free, and got his first victory in the touring cars. And I was so pleased for him, and I was just the main thing is that my crash didn't take away from his race win. It's a big moment for him, and he just needs to enjoy it and try and ride that hopefully gives him that extra bit of confidence to go and do it again. And we need to get points and claw back points on that Laser Tools team, and try and get that independence championship for the team.
Oh mate, well, I'm fully with you. I'm sure you will, fella. Listen, I'll let you go. I know you're flat out. You've got interviews galore, haven't you, tonight? So I will let you crack on. I'm in the dodgiest. I'm in the dodgiest multi-story car park I've ever been in. I'm like proper scared to get out. It's like The Equalizer, if you remember that.
Oh yeah, that's an awesome movie.
For sure, mate. All right, Geezer, listen, you go. Right. Stay safe. All the best. Hope you're out for Croft, mate. Good luck.
All right, cheers, Paul. Top See man. You, mate.
Cheers,
bye.
Rory. Bye. Wow. That car massively damaged. If anyone can get it out though, Motorbase can do the job. So good to hear from Rory. Interesting, isn't it? Says a lot about Rory, about how he sees Ollie's win, and he was a positive spin for the team. And some drivers are so selfish they couldn't even care less what the teammate was doing. But nice to hear that, wasn't it? Very cool. Not ideal that, and hopefully they can get that car sorted for Croft, and if anyone can, I'm sure Motorbase can. So fingers crossed for them. Another interesting development from the weekend was Andy Neate. He'd had a bit of a nightmare at Thruxton, and been taken out the results for all three races at Thruxton, and then he got to Silverstone and had some contact with Jade Edwards, and I thought it was fair that we should speak to Andy. And I know millions of people don't watch this, and all touring car fans don't watch it, but I think there's a good number of people that maybe tune in and see what's going on with the drivers that we do have on. So I thought it was fair to speak to Andy, and this is what Andy had to say about what happened at Silverstone and everything that's gone on with it.
Hello, buddy.
Hello, Andy. How are you doing, mate? Okay?
Yeah, not too bad, but not too bad at all.
Sweet, man. Listen, we spoke offline before just to try and get this sorted out, so I could give you a shout and have a chat, mate. You're currently down in Wales, aren't you? You with your son? Are you testing or something? You were saying?
Yeah, it's my boy's first running a F4 car today. He's only 14, so he can't race him yet, but just trying to get a bit of mileage for him and do something new. He's been in karts since he was 4. So it's the first time in the big boys' toys, Oh,
mate, fair play. Do you not fancy Ginetta Juniors, or is that just too rough and tumble, mate?
No, we're going to go down the single-seater route. He's built himself a good pedigree in karts and earned some respect, won a lot of things. So I think Formula 4 is going to be the next step for him. Yeah. But you've got to start these things early, haven't you, to get prepared.
Yeah, that's so cool, mate. Listen, that's quite interesting, isn't it, to start on that, because obviously you've had quite a bit of bad press, I'd say, in what's happened in the last couple of rounds, which is just... It's pretty savage, mate. But first of all, let's talk about something we've just spoken about, and that's your son. I can't imagine it's been easy for him, mate, if he's seeing quite detrimental stuff spoken about you in social media and stuff. Is that? Am I being correct there? Or?
No, it's highly accurate. I've got a family. I've a daughter 18, my little man Ethan, he's only 2. But Aidan, obviously, been in motorsport since he could talk, and he's up and coming. He's one of the brightest talents. I know I'm biased because I'm his dad, but he's got the world at his feet right now. And for him to read these comments about his dad, which is one thing, it comes with it sometimes, especially in the pantomime of touring cars as it is. But what's now starting to happen is it's kind of spilling out into him. The other day was all this social media, if you want to call it trolling or whatever you want to call it. Some guys put up some these karting crashes, and they said, Andy Neate is showing Aidan how to do it, and Aidan's not much better than his dad. And you're thinking, geez, say what you like about me to a degree, but give the boy a break, because sadly, these things are sad.
Yeah. How's he deal with it, Andy? How's he dealing with it, mate?
Well, you know what? He's thick-skinned, but it makes him sad. Of course he does. My daughter was in tears when she left Silverstone.
Yeah.
And she's been reading. It's easy to say don't read what people say.
Yeah.
But BTCC is followed nationally, globally. It's got a huge fan base, and unfortunately, like with every sport, you're going to get your people, the fans out there aren't really fans. They're just keyboard warriors, as we call it. But some of the things they say are unnecessary, and it does hurt them. It hurts all the kids and the family.
That's the thing, isn't it? The family thing is what people forget sometimes, don't? And we talk about be kind. And I've got to make an apology to you, mate. To be honest, because with everything that went on at Silverstone, and as people know and I'm pretty friendly with Jade Edwards, but. You had your little comings together throughout the races. Both of yous, one was you, one was her, but it all ended not brilliantly. But that to the side, I just want to say sorry to you because I made a joke saying, don't type in Andy Neate in the search bar, and it was a joke on my part. But now I look back at it, mate, it can incite some stuff. So I think I'd be wrong not apologising to you. So I hope you appreciate my apology.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for that. No, I do appreciate it. It does. Sadly, clearly you've got a good following and so on, and people take notice of what you say. Of course, they should. And although it was just tongue in cheek and a joke of, no one could really believe what the aftermath of Silverstone has taken place because it's been vile. To be honest, Paul, it has been vile. Some of the stuff some people have said, it's got nothing to do with motorsport, and it's just not on. And when they start trying to pull the kids in, especially one that's trying to make his way in the sport that's difficult enough as it is, it's not on. And some of the stuff they say sadly sticks.
Yeah, it's not fair, is it, mate? And a lot of people won't know this, but me and you had I had your number, but for business reasons, it's not like, we're not massive mates. We've got a mutual friend with James Thompson, and but I've known you since 2001, mate. And the one thing I will say is the things I've seen about you, it's not one, it's been not very nice, but two, people are very quick to forget that, you were battling for a podium when I was in touring cars last in 2011 at Brands Hatch GP. And it does seem like, actually, now I think back, why do you go so well at really hard tracks? Alton Park, you always qualified well, raced well. You raced well at Brands GP against Onslow Cole, Chilton. JP was your teammate in 2012. You led the race at Croft. You're actually, on paper, you've actually not done that much because I think your business is pretty big, isn't it? And you're always pretty busy. But actually, it sounds like I'm just trying to get some money out of you, and that's not the case.
No, you know what? You're right there. I've been around touring cars a long time. I suppose you could say I'm one of the old guard, but in regards to seasons, I've only really done 2 full seasons where I kind of had a go at it. The first year at WSR was fantastic, but it wasn't. It was my first experience, so everything's kind of eyes wide open. But I arrived at Aon full of expectation, but in a good team. But I had 2 bloody good teammates in Onslow Cole and Chilton.
Yeah.
But you know what? Look at the results. Pace-wise, I held my own, more than held my own with them 2.
Yeah.
In a difficult car. I out-qualified them on a few occasions. As you say, there was an opportunity where I should have got a podium on the last lap. I choked because, I was already doing my speech before I'd crossed the line.
We've all been there, mate. We've all been there.
And I choked and I've been there. But, the best people, I'm not saying I'm nowhere near the best, never have been, never will be. But you have to be able to drive a car to put yourself in that position.
Do you know?
And then again with MG, sorry, Paul, with MG, in my opinion, JP's one of the best drivers ever to grace the British touring cars, any touring car.
Yeah.
And I'll never be as good as him, never will be, never pretend to be. But when you look at the times halfway through the season, because we had no testing in that MG, I was a few tenths off. Croft, I had three top tens, should have won that race, led the whole bloody thing.
Yeah.
But again, towards the end, last lap, after 3 Alan Gale safety cars, I kind of choked and didn't it. That's how it goes. But I can drive a car, but things have got to be right for me. But I just got to get some consistency. And I'm certainly I'm not a championship winner. I've never said I was ever going to be a championship winner, but I can drive a car, Paul, and it's sad some of the stuff that people say about me.
Yeah, no, listen, mate, and I fully appreciate it. And I just thought that it was only fair that you had, I'm not saying I've got loads of people who are going to watch this. Quite a few people do, and I just think it's fair that you're listened out as well, and you can actually have a platform to stand on. But I remember Alan Cole, who was team manager. I'm sure you qualified third at Alton. Onslow, Cole and Chilton were behind you. That was one of the most competitive seasons I remember, mate. So how are you going to get back to that, mate? Is it just because there's not a lot of testing these days, is it? It's a funny year as well. You've come back at probably the worst year.
Yeah.
But everything's just like trying to get on with it and get the season done. You've got to believe that you can get back up there, haven't you?
I think so. I'm older now, but I've been out of racing for 8 years. Of course, I had a brief foray with Dynamics or one weekend, which obviously didn't go to plan. But I haven't seen a racetrack for 8 years. So I've turned up at the start of this year. Obviously, then COVID kicked in, so that sort of hampered, a lot of preparation we wanted to do. So all my testing, like everyone's, to be fair, is at a race weekend. But I'm learning the tracks again. I'm learning the cars. I'm trying to sharpen myself up. I've even bought myself a simulator. I'm not really a simulator person because I'm old school, but I'm doing what I can.
Yeah.
So things have got to go well for you at a weekend, but I am chipping away. Sectors are coming, things are coming together. I just need some time. Yeah. I've been trying to keep my nose clean, but of course, in the last 2 events, things haven't quite gone that way for a range of reasons. We can debate what's gone on, but that's how it is. So I'm hoping the rest of the season we can chip away and maybe come back next year and have a proper go and see what we can do. Yeah,
defo, mate. Well, listen, on that note, with the things that have happened, and listen, I've like literally got 5 minutes left on my SD card, which is a pain, but I just think that things happen. There's red mist. People see it from different angles. Commentators see it from different views. With everything that's gone on, mate, and I know you. I actually know you're not a malicious person. I know that for a fact, and you come across as a decent fella. You're a very switched on guy. You got a great business. What would you want to say to people who've been jumping on the bandwagon maybe and saying? And I was one of those people who said, "Oh, don't search this in the search bar." What would you want to say to people? Is it give me time? Is it I'm not actually like that, and some things get in your way, and that's life? What actually do you want to say, mate? He actually didn't want to say anything. Oh my God, my phone just cut off on him. That's not a joke either. I'll ring him back. Oh God. Let's see. Unbelievable.
Hello, everybody, got you back.
Andy, I'm so sorry about that, mate. I don't know what you heard. Basically, everybody who's watching this will see what I've said on the camera. But what do you want to say to those people that have maybe jumped on the bandwagon and give you a hard time? And I was maybe one of them indirectly by saying what I said on Twitter. What do you think, mate?
Yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I respect that. Obviously, for the start of the season, I've done my best to keep my nose clean. Thruxton didn't go to plan, and I got to hold my hands up. I didn't really want to have contact with Boardley.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate. I put my hands up to the contact. What took place after that was some issues with the stewards, the technicalities and so on. But I put it out there, and I've spoken to Ian Watson about it. Ian Watson changed his mind about my disqualification for that weekend. Mm-hmm. But, because of the way the rules are, the way the Blue Book was written, we'd have had to go to the Court of Arbitration to actually have it removed. And, I thought, what was the point? But unfortunately, the bulletin goes out there, and Andy Neate's been disqualified for perceived bad driving.
Yeah.
Which is one thing. But then fast forward, so out there, everyone's sat there waiting for me to do something wrong. Well, not everybody, just some of the fans that do like to throw abuse and attack drivers and so on. But that was their first opportunity. But then obviously we're going to go to Silverstone. Now, you know what, Paul? Everyone can have their opinion, but let me tell you something. And I do invite everyone to watch all the footage of the whole weekend many times. I did absolutely nothing wrong that weekend. I didn't get called up the bus once that weekend for doing anything wrong. Mm-hmm. Now, I respect Jade Edwards for getting the commercial back and doing everything she did to get on the grid. Fair play to her for getting on the grid. Yeah. Okay. And I understand why all the support that she got came with that and the attention that came with that. But unfortunately, I then got portrayed as the pantomime villain because it's like race one. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the move I did with her into Beckett's. And I would invite everybody to try and review the footage, and maybe some in the paddock to have a look at the footage on board of both cars to see that particular move happens time and time again. Yeah. But what happened, sadly, Tim Harvey, again, I respect him immensely. Why shouldn't he? The guy's won everything there is to win in that championship, and everyone knows his experience. But for some reason, I was disappointed with the way that he portrayed that incident. Yeah. And then, of course, it then sparks everyone to think what his initial reaction was. Yeah. But then fast forward to race 3, well, I'm not going to sit here arguing about who fired off who, but it's clearly I did nothing wrong. Yeah. And then there were a few comments in there from the commentary that didn't help matters either. So, I would really appreciate if maybe Tim was to review the footage once again. Yeah. Please come to the truck, look at our onboard, look at the onboard, go to ITV, you've got every single angle, look at it, and maybe revise some of the things that you said, or even just come and have a chat with me about it, because sadly those comments stick, and it's caused a lot of issues for me post that, which I think have been unfair. Yeah. No,
but listen, I'm fully with what you're saying, mate, for sure, and I think that is definitely the right thing to make of it, and I think a lot of people will look a bit more in depth before they speak about it, mate. But listen, I've literally got 10 seconds left on my SD card. Yeah, sure. So thank you very much for coming on and having a say, mate. And I'll speak soon, Captain.
No, thanks for the call. No Cheers, buddy.
Cheers,
Andy.
Bye. See you, mate.
Bye.
Well, there you go then. Just shows you, doesn't it? It's not just about the driving, it's the knock-on effect of everything else. And I think that we should, even me, think about what consequences saying things on the internet has for people. So interesting to hear that from Andy, actually. And as I say, I don't really know Andy that well, but I've raced against him since 2001, and he's actually right. He actually hasn't had that much racing in British touring cars, to be fair to him. But whatever you think of Andy, we should take into respect what consequences that could have for his family, and especially his young son, who's hopefully going to have a really good career in single seaters, because it sounds like he's fast, actually. Speaking to people I've spoken to, they said he's pretty quick, so good luck to him. Last person I got in touch with was Ollie Jackson, and that fantastic win he had at Silverstone. I was so made up for him. I thought it was quite interesting, and yeah, Ollie being Ollie, the nicest man alive. This is what he had to say about that race win at Silverstone, which was great for Motorbase.
Hello.
British touring car race winner. How are you, Ollie Jackson?
Oh, good, thanks, mate. Yeah, no, really good, yeah. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm good. I just find it hilarious. Like, you're probably the nicest person on the grid, and I give you driver of the weekend at Brands Hatch. You were absolutely mustard. And I spoke to your boss, David Bartram, afterwards, and I was like, what's happened to Ollie? He's dropped off a bit. And he was like, don't you worry, we'll have him back, mate. And you're back, mate, and you're a winner. How does it feel, fella? That's so cool, man.
Yeah, mega, mate. Yeah, no, it's well, no, in terms of the niceness, that's obviously the image I try to portray. But actually, I'm obviously a bit of a knob, but as we all are. But
But no, it was a bit funny after Brands. Really, it was a bit of pressure to deliver again, and it wasn't really happening for a couple of weekends. But thankfully, I think that's probably cured it. Silverstone looks to have done the job.
Oh, definitely, mate. I mean, you've had a strong year. I just think I expected a bit too much, maybe, mate. I mean, Brands Hatch, I know you're pretty good round there anyway, to be fair. You'd had a good weekend there, the final round of the year. I think you properly beat off Tom Chilton, who's your teammate. He was fast round there.
Do you want to rephrase that? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, mate. You're more on it than me, mate. That's usually me saying stuff like that. But yeah, it's like, you've had that car looks good. You look good. And Rory Butcher, your teammate, is, in my eyes, one of the best drivers in the championship. So you've got it all to do, mate.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's been a long journey, and I think coming to Motorbase really kind of gave me the opportunity to show what I can do.
Yeah.
And then the car, the car's amazing. It really has. It certainly gave me the podium. It gave me the win at the weekend, and what an amazing job the Motorbase guys have done. And I'm really grateful to be part of the team at the moment, and in particular. And I mean, obviously, they've been my team for a long time, even when I haven't been driving for them. But I'm extraordinarily lucky.
Yeah, and listen, mate, talk me through the weekend, because it was actually a really strong weekend for you, wasn't it? Around the top 10 all weekend, get to the reverse grid, but you outdrag Oliphant off the line and then just steam off for a win. I'll be taking that, thank you very much. It looked like the car got stronger over the weekend, because it is a work in progress, I suppose, the car, isn't it?
Well, it's funny actually, because I was pretty disappointed with qualifying. It was a decent lap, but we like you say, we went the wrong direction really on the second set of tyres when the track seemed to be at its best, and I was hoping for better than P11. I was hoping to do a bit more like I'd done at Brands, but the first race was a bit unlucky. I got a good start again in the first race actually, and I think I made up about 4 places just off the grid. In fact, that was my best start of the day, believe it or not, even after the one in race 3. I got a bit of a hit from Adam, which knocked the tracking out, and I went backwards a bit again. So that was a bit, and at that point, it didn't really feel like it was going to be a good day. But actually, race 2, we went the right way with the car. It felt really good, and got lucky with the reverse grid, and we hit the sweet spot for race 3. The car really was absolutely at its best there.
Was there any doubt in your mind that you were going to win the race? Did any kind of any negative thoughts creep in when you were thinking, I'm going to win this?
Oh yeah, no, I wanted it, and I've dreamed about it, literally. I've dreamed about the moment for years, but I was confident. I thought I could do the job, and I thought before the race I was a bit nervous, because I thought it was a really good opportunity, and I didn't want to lose it.
Yeah.
And I thought the one moment where I thought it slipped away was when Tom got alongside me, but I thought I could, the cutback might work, and I think after that I thought, do you know what, I think I might have actually. That was when I started to believe it was going to happen, if you see what I mean.
Oh mate, I thought I was going to get told off, because when they come back to us in the studio to talk about it, I just properly fanboyed you, mate. I wasn't a pundit anymore. I was like giving the big fist to the camera. Ollie Jackson's one. Steve Ryder was looking at me going, is he all right, him?
Well, I enjoyed it. I appreciated it. So
I just think it's great, mate, because you got a lot of support. You've been very good with me over social media when we've done Facebook Lives and stuff, and the fans have a connection to you, mate, because your family are nice people as well. It's just nice to see. Did you feel the love, mate?
I did. I know. I was taken aback by the response, actually, because ultimately I've been around a while, and it hasn't always gone well for me, and I didn't really appreciate quite how many people were rooting for me.
Yeah.
So it was really lovely. The reaction around the paddock. I mean, even Senna Proctor's dad stopped his motorhome on the way out he actually got out and came and shook my hand. It's and all of that stuff really it made a fantastic day feel really special, and I'm really grateful to everybody for how nice they've been about it, both the fans and everyone in the paddock. It's been amazing, absolutely amazing.
Oh mate, that's so funny because I'm just going to switch this phone. Someone's trying to ring me here. It just made me laugh because when you said Senna Proctor's dad had got out, Mark Proctor literally would have shook your hand. He would have ripped your arm off. He's got hands like a JCB digger, isn't he?
He has, yeah. He has got very, very large hands, yeah.
Now that sounds well weird, mate.
Makes things look small, yeah.
Oh mate, enough of that, you rascal. Listen, last question. I've had it before. I've only ever won 2 races, mate, but I remember my second race win at Snetterton because Alton, my first one was just nuts. It was weird. But the second one, when I had a bit of time to think about it, a bit like you had, because you had a bit of a gap. Did you hear like the commentary and everything else going round in your head? Like, I wonder what they're saying, or was you really focused? I just think too much, I think.
It's funny. I was thinking about the last lap. Actually, I was thinking, can I keep doing this until the last lap? And all I was thinking was, I'd look really stupid if I cocked this up by myself on the last lap.
Did that go through your head?
Oh yeah, no, I'm terrible for that. I'm terrible for thinking, for seeing the. Yeah, actually, I suppose it is similar to you. Actually, I see the replays of me throwing it off, I think.
Oh mate, I love it. That is so cool. Well, listen, mate, I'll let you go. And it was lovely to speak. And I will see you at Croft. Well, I won't see you because we never get to see each other. But I will see you on the screen, mate. And hopefully your success continues, fella.
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it. Great to chat.
You too, mate. All the best. I'll see you soon.
Cheers. See you soon. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
How very lovely. Love Ollie Jackson, top man, really, really top man. Interesting, wasn't it, that little chat there? It does go through your mind. It's funny what goes through your mind when you're going for your first win or a championship or whatever. I've never been for a championship, but I thought that was quite interesting. What a lad. Love Ollie Jackson. He is special, and I just love him. A lovely, lovely guy who just, for me, doesn't have the personality to be as fast and as good as he is in a touring car. So fair play to him. He's got that monkey off his back. He's got that race win. It's really, really cool, isn't it, to see? And I do like him, and it's great. He's a good fit with Motorbase. I know, stick me light back on again. I know Ollie Collins and David Bartram at Motorbase, and Barbara, David's wife, really do think highly of him. So really cool to see him get that race win, and all the best to those guys. They've got a lot going on at the minute in that team, and hopefully they'll get that car out of Rory's at Croft. Right, leave it at that. Sorry if it's been really long, but I just thought it was really interesting to have all of those guests on who we had on, and great chat from them all. Right, thank you for every comment you've ever made. I do read every single one of them. They come through my email, so I'm really, really pleased. Now I've said that, I'm going to get some horrible ones, aren't I? Yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know if there's anything else you want to see. Obviously COVID is a difficult thing, and we can only do so much with people, but I think this is the best way for me to speak to everybody and try and get a different opinion, different view on different things in British touring cars. Cool. Look out for the preview of Croft. They're all coming up thick and fast, aren't they? Nice one. 3 years later. This car park scares me.